Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us introduce ourselves. We are from group 6, which member is me, Muhammad Jibran Bisman, as a moderator, and Putri Sadur Ashura, Siti Abdul Rifai, and Nurfadia. Today, we are going to present our materials about discourse analysis and language teaching. And let's get straight to the video. Background. Language teaching often focuses on grammar, but many learners still cannot communicate it well. This shows a gap between grammatical competence and real communication. Discourse analysis appears to solve this by focusing on language in use. Here's the definition according to experts. The document shares definitions from several linguistic experts. Michael McCarthy 1991 defines discourse analysis as the study of language in use in text and social context and how language shapes and is shaped by the context in which it is used. Gee 2005 states that discourse analysis is the study of how language is used to construct social identities, social relationships, and social activities. Stubbs 1083 describes discourse analysis as the study of language beyond the sentence level, focusing on the relationships between language and the social context in which it is used. 2. General definitions. In general, discourse analysis is a branch of linguistics that studies language structure in units larger than a single sentence, both in spoken and written forms, while paying close attention to the context of usage. Essentially, discourse analysis does not only look at whether grammar is correct or incorrect, but look at how language functions in real communications. 3 is differences between discourse and text. Although often considered similar, there are fundamental differences. Aspect text discourse definition a collection of sentences bound by grammatical rules and structure, but may not necessarily have a complete contextual meaning. Language used in a real context, which has a communicative purpose and meaning understood by speakers and listeners, focus, focuses on form and language structure, focuses on function, meaning, and social interaction. Characteristic statics, fixed, only written, dynamic, alive, interactive, change according to situation. Example, a list of random sentences that are grammatically correct but unrelated in meaning. Conversations, letter, news, articles, or dialogues that serve a specific purpose. Okay, before is scope of discourse analysis. In linguistics, discourse analysis covers the following areas of study: text structure, how sentences are arranged into complex paragraph or chapter; discourse grammar, the study of relationships between sentences such as the use of pronouns, conjunction, and meaning connections; pragmatics, how meaning is constructed based on context, speaker intention, and social situation; conversation analyzes patterns of social interactions, how people take turn in speaking, and the unwritten rules of communication; language variation, the use of language based on the social, cultural background and status of the speakers. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Let's move to the basic concept in discourse analysis. In this section, I will explain some basic concept in discourse analysis. First is cohesion. Cohesion refers to the grammatical and surface connection between sentences in a text. It works like a structural glue that hold the text together. Cohesion includes elements such as reference, substitution, ellipsis, conjunction, and lexical cohesion. Second is coherence. Coherence is about the meaning and logical flow of idea in a text. A text can be grammatically correct and cohesive, but still not coherent if the idea do not logically connect or make sense to the reader. Third is a context. Context refers to all the circumstances surrounding a text or conversation. It can be divided into three types. First is situational context, which relate to the physical setting. Second is social context, which involve the relationship between speakers. And third is cultural context, which include norms and tradition in society. Next, speech acts. Okay, speech acts refers to the idea that when we speak, we are actually performing action. So there are three level of speech are. First is locutionary act, which is the literal meaning of the utterance. Illocutionary act, which is the speaker intention, and then perlocutionary act, which is the effect of the listener. And then last is turn taking. Turn taking uh, is the unwritten rule in conversation that determine when a person start and stop speaking. It helps avoid overlapping speech and is influenced by intonation, eye contact, and sentence structure. So next we move to types of discourse analysis. First, spoken discourse analysis. These types focus on spoken language in real interaction, ranging from casual conversation to formal discussion. It distinguishes between transactional talk, which aims to complete tasks, and interactional talk, which aims to build social relationship. And the second type is written discourse analysis. This type examine written text such as article, letters, and digital media. It focuses on how writer organize structure, cohesion, and coherence to deliver their message clearly and logically. There is critical discourse analysis, or CDA. This approach aims to reveal how discourse is used to spread ideology, mention power, and super discrimination. It views language as a political tool. And the lastly type is conversation analysis, or CA. This is a sociological approach that studies the micro level structure of face-to-face interaction. It focuses on elements such as turn taking and adjacency pairs, like question answer or greeting responses. And next, we move to the relationship between discourse analysis and language teaching. So, discourse analysis help us understand how language is used in real communication, not only grammar. So, for the first is the role of discourse in learning. First, the role of discourse. Language as action. Language is not only grammar but also action. For example, asking, apologizing, and promising. And the second is real communication. So it helps teachers see if students are using real communication or just practicing grammar. And the next is learning from other. Students learn language by copying how other speak, so then use it in their own way. We move to the importance of context. First is context gives meaning. One sentence can have different meanings depending on the situation. For example, a question can be a command. And the second is building identity. Language helps build relationship and identity, of course. And the last is important element. We need to understand who is speaking and their relationship, the purpose, and share knowledge. So we move to the influence of language skill. Is the last the influence of language skill. First is listening. Listening is like good listener try to guess what comes next. Speaking is a student need to learn turn taking and how to respond naturally. Reading is like talking with the writer, and we use background knowledge to understand the text. And the writing, good writing uses clear connection between idea and good organization.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Umar Abdul Fai from class A with ID number H0123005. So I will to explain about the material is paradigmatic transformations from grammatical formalism to communicative competence. Historically, language teaching focused on grammatical competence. Following Wilkins' 1972, the assumption was that if a student mastered syntactic and morphological rules, their ability to communicate would emerge automatically. However, discourse analysis shows that focusing only on grammar creates pedagogic situations that don't match real life. Students may produce correct sentences, but they often feel awkward or unnatural in real interactions. So, to fix this, communicative competence, Canale 1983, was introduced based on four pillars. One is grammatical competence, accuracy in language card and lexicon. Two, sociolinguistic competence, using language appropriate to the social context and politeness norms. Three, discourse competence, creating cohesive and coherent text beyond single sentences. And the last, for strategic competence, using strategies to overcome communication breakdowns. So next material is implementation in syllabus design and teaching practice. The practical side of discourse analysis is seen in communicative or national syllabuses. Unlike structural syllabuses, these are designed based on the functional needs of students in the real world. According to Wilkins, language teaching should give students various communicative functions such as valuation and evaluation, the ability to express opinions or judgments, persuasion, using language to influence how others think or act, argument and rational argument and rational inquiry, conveying logic and seeking explanations in discussions. And last, emotive relations, expressing feelings and building social bonds. So, in English for specific purposes or ESP, discourse analysis is crucial. Professionals like doctors or teachers need more than just basic grammar. They must master the specific discourse structures of their workplace, like managing turn taking or using the initiation, response, feedback sequence. So finally, discourse analysis shows that the functional meaning of what we say depends on one, context and sequential position when a sentence is spoken. Two, intonation, how pitch and stress can change a statement into a comment. And last three, inferencing, the ability to conclude what isn't explicitly said. So, by using these findings, language teaching moves from just memorizing structures to helping students navigate complex and dynamic social instructions.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Fadia as the last presenter. Now, I will explain about the advantages and challenges of discourse analysis in language learning. The first is about advantages. Uh, so, discourse analysis here offers significant advantages in language learning, which is the first because it focuses on language in use. That's the how people actually use language in real communication rather than isolated sentences. So discourse analysis helps students understand real communication, and students learn how language is actually used in daily life. Second, uh, here it helps learners understand meaning more deeply. So it because meaning is not only derived from words but also from context, relationship, and intention. And the third, discourse analysis contributes to the development of critical thinking skills. So, as it encourages learners to analyze how language contracts identities, relationships, and social realities. So, discourse analysis here improves critical thinking. Also, students can analyze how language is used to express ideas, build relationships, and even influence others. However, discourse analysis also has some challenges in language learning. Here, the first one. So, uh, one major challenge is that it requires a high level of analytical ability. So here, students need to understand multiple aspects of language, including context, structure, meaning, and social function. And here, another challenge is the it requires more time in the learning process. Uh, it will takes more time because students must analyze longer texts and real conversations, not just simple sentences. And then uh, the last challenge is there are limitations in materials and resources. So, uh, of course, there are limitations in material and resources, especially in teaching context, because not all resources are suitable. So the teachers sometimes need to create or adapt their own materials. Okay, next. Now let's move to the implication in English language teaching. Discourse analysis has important implications for English language teaching, particularly in shaping the role of teachers, the development of teaching materials, and students' communicative competence. Here, the first, discourse analysis change the role of the teacher. Also, here, the teacher is not only teaching grammar, but also teacher helping students understand how language works in real situations. Second, discourse analysis influences the development of teaching materials. So here, encouraging the use of authentic texts and tasks that reflect real life communication. So here for the example, like real conversation, articles, or social media. So not only textbook sentences. And then the last, discourse analysis has a strong impact on students' communicative competence. So here students can use language more naturally, understand meaning better, and communicate effectively in different contexts. Okay, maybe that's all that I can explain about the materials. Thank you very much.
As a conclusion, discourse analysis views language as dynamic and influenced by context, emphasizing communicative competence beyond just grammar. It supports practical language teaching and helps develop all four skills, but also requires strong analytical ability and authentic materials. Okay, so thank you. That's all from our groups. I end with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.